Have it. We'll now move to taking note. Senator Brown.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. I rise to take note of the answers given by Senators Colbeck and Birmingham to the questions asked by Senators Dodson and O'Neill. I wish to talk about the vaccine rollout because there's a lot of concern in the community, and that concern is centred around a number of issues that have been badly handled with the vaccine rollout by this government. We've had issues around overdosing, we've had issues around training, we've had issues around storage, we've had issues, as I understand it, even today with the launch of the booking system. And it's really, unfortunately, seems to be par for the course for this government. It's a confused, slow and an uneven rollout of the COVID vaccination program across Australia and in my home state of Tasmania. Now, I think everyone would remember when the Prime Minister promised that 4 million Australians would be vaccinated by the end of March this year. And of course, we know that I think we're about over 160,000, but a long way off the 4 million. And of course, Senator Colbeck, in his response to Senator Dodson, did not respond at all to the question that was asked of him about the Prime Minister's commitment to Australia around vaccinations. And then, of course, that commitment did morph in, to be completely fair to the Prime Minister, it did morph in that the commitment of 4 million would be by the end of April. And then, of course, that commitment disappeared altogether. There have been commitments to 6 million vaccinations by the 10th of May and even 11 million by the end of May. Well, if the rollout in Tasmania is anything to go by, the government is a long, long way from delivering on these commitments. The problem is that despite months of planning, the systems to deliver the vaccine programs are still not in place. I just want to go to the announcement that was made today and have a look at the electorate of Lions. Now, in Tasmania, there have been 36 GP clinics announced, and in the electorate of Lions, there's only 5. Now, Lions contains 12 municipalities, and 6 of them have been left off the vaccination map. Now, the government expects people living in the Derwent Valley, Southern Midlands, Glamorgan, Spring Bay, Tasman, the Central Highlands and Kentish to travel, and are now expected to travel considerable distances to get vaccinated. And that's if they can, of course, get an appointment and if the GP clinic has any available vaccine. But of course, I've already spoken about booking through the national booking system, because we've already heard the issues around the system not standing up. There has been some website errors. Now, I hope that the system stands up to the demand and doesn't suffer from the same fate as many of the other platforms that this government has run in the past, because they don't have a very good track record. But I hope it does stand up, despite the early reportings this afternoon, because it simply would not be good enough for the booking system to not be able to handle the demand. Now, for the older people living on the Tasman Peninsula and on the East Coast, their nearest GP clinics are in Sorell and St Helens, which are 90 minutes away. The government has really done a very bad job with the vaccinations. They've overpromised, overcommitted, substantially overpromised and overcommitted. They have had one issue after another. As I said, they've had the overdosing, they've had the lack of training. They really need to get their act together because people are relying on this vaccination